Rastafari, it's me again, Rastafari in the area. Positive vibration to the Rasta nation. I give thanks, man, once and once. His Majesty Emperor Selassie, Empress Menen, Rastafari the living and the giving. Yeah, Rasta man. Nowadays, we found this thing in a Babylon. Every time when man used the word apartheid or man used the word white, then people say you are racist. And they put all kinds of names upon one. The truth is an offense, but not a sin. And the truth is never racist. The truth is the truth. A lot of young ones today, especially those that was born 6 years before 94 and in 94 and after, these ones have no idea of the physical experience of apartheid. They have no idea of the scars, the different scars that apartheid have left on the human flesh. Apartheid have left deep scars and not so deep scars. Apartheid have left long scars and short scars. Apartheid have left scars on big and fat and young and everyone. Apartheid is a devil himself, a devil with claws, a one that you cannot see, but his claws, it can penetrate your flesh and devour you and tear your flesh. That is apartheid. Today still, poverty, especially in the non-white community, is because of apartheid. And poverty alone himself bring a lot of devils. All these things that you see in the ghettos, all you see these things that people experience in the community of the RTP houses and in the shanty houses, the shack houses, all these things is because of poverty. The fact that we cannot go to doctor, the fact that we cannot eat the right healthy food, the fact because food play a great role today in the sickness and the diseases, in the high blood pressures and all these diabetes and the cut-offs of legs and the dying of people. So the food play a great role. The medicine play a great role. So the poor people, the ones that pay the ones that is not in the working class system, the one that pay but they don't pay a living wages, all these things, it is only the non-white people that overcome these things. That is still the result of apartheid. The fact that my mother is uneducated and I and my children suffer today and many of us is still uneducated is apartheid. A lot of people is dead, a lot of children is fatherless and motherless, a lot of have one leg, a lot of still in prison. It's apartheid, a lot of people was hanged and killed by the bullet and by the gun. It's all apartheid. You cannot just come and tell me now, say, no apartheid, you're racist, or you don't want to forget or forgive. Believe it or not, the black people, they like the white people more than the white people love themselves. You can go now to the farms. You can go to any farm and see how brown people and black people, they nearly talk like a white man. They act like people. They are becoming like white people. Although you see this a poor a poor black man that is working here. You see, he will give his life for the white man. He loved the white man. He loved the white man language. He loved the white man God. He loved everything of the white man. He will give his life for the white man. He will fight with his wife and his children for the white man. That is how much we love the white man. I, as a youth, when I come out of the bioscope, when we look in the book, it's white people. When you see in the films, in the bioscope, there was no TV at that time on all these fancy phones. It's white people we see. And we love these white people. We want these white people. We want to kiss these white people. We want to marry white people. We disgrace our culture at that time. We disgrace our black and brown sisters around us. Because we want these white people, we love these white people more than we love ourselves and our white and our brown and black sisters. That is the reality, that is the fact, that is the experience we have experienced. When we come out of the bioscope, oh, it's only three things. It's or John Wayne in the cowboy style, or you talk about a white woman. You talk about a white woman. Everybody is mad about a white woman. Everybody want to be white today. By that time, we don't want to be white. We just want to have a white woman or want to be in that situation because that is how they were Dr. Ranai and I. And that is how we grow. We love white people. You can go and look the history of the slave master. The slave master, those that he was chosen to work in the kitchen, or those that he was chosen to work in the garden and not in the plantation, those he was dressed and he was feed right here with him, those ones love him more than anybody else. They will kill their own people for these white people. Check the history. That is how much we love white people. Today, do you know how many black people want to be white? Do you know how many sisters, especially those that is in high profile levels, those that have a loving wages, those that sit in front of the TV cameras, those that is singers, and those that is actors, that you see how they want to be white? Because we love the white people more than we love ourselves. Because we have doctrinized I that white is right, white is bright, white is the light, and that is white, and white lies, and white is good. So run away from this black devil thing. And that is exactly what the educated ones do, those ones that talk about ancestors, but they run away and they leave the ancestors now in a situation where the ancestors cannot rest. Peace upon them. Because their soul is restless. Because we that have to do now an African thing, they're supposed to give our children African names, going in African traditions, doing African things. What are we doing? We're doing white things. Why? Because our mind, because of the apartheid teachings and the apartheid situation, have us in this situation. So apartheid have an effect. The only time that we can forget apartheid is when all these Anglican churches, they come together in the countries, in the provinces, in the local areas, and they come together and they say, listen man, let's go and ask these people forgiveness and let us see physically what can we do. Maybe we can build a school for all these drug addicts that we are part of in creating. That is what they can do. Then the farmers can come together, all the farmers who have their thousands, 10,000s of farms, which one family have 7 and another have 9 and another have 11. Only in one family. Then they can come together and say, listen man, we can give this farm to these people who historically is the owners of this place, but we will not now talk about that. We will just give them the farm and treat them and guide them and all the way, but we will still have our farms and go on. The man who have only one farm, he can say, okay, right, I will give a piece of my farm and teach them and lead them, and until the time go that they can, we all have equally land and things, because things don't happen overnight. They don't do these things. When we come with plans for the farms and for doing the right things, then they and the DAs and all these white political parties is not doing the right thing. They are covering up these things. When we say to them, you must give the farmers living places where it is, the conditions is right and fair, and salaries is fair, but you go there to all the farms, it's still the same thing. Still the same thing, cheap labor. Talk about China, you talk about things and places right here. It happened in front here in South Africa. The whites do nothing about it. Then you have your DA that makes sure that they only run to where there's a problem at the school. They go run to there and show that the DA is around, but they cannot go now to the factories and say, hey, equal pay here, man, stop this apartheid pace, and equal things as far as promotion and things is concerned. Stop this apartheid waste in the factories. They don't do these things. Huh? They don't go to the farmers because they have the powers to do these things, because they are leaders of the farmers and these people who run these things. They don't do these things. They know where to run just to fool the black man. But where the black man really need them, inside the factories, on the farms, and in certain places, they are nowhere to be found. When we need them in human rights situations, they are nowhere to be found because they still are white and they still have to defend the white generals, the Larey and the Bottas and all that thing because that is their history. Those black brothers now and colored brothers that is voting for this DA, they have no history. They have no history. They put it aside. They cannot put General Dalaray there. They cannot put Botha there. And now they have taken away Mandela there. They put Mandela there. Everybody put Mandela now there as a bribe. But they put away their black leaders and their black preachers and their black everything. That is what they do. So they have nothing. But the white man, they have a line of pictures from here till 19, I don't know where, or 1652. But they have pictures, and that is their legacy, and they follow that pictures no matter what. They will never leave De La Rey, they will never leave Botha, they will never leave Jan van Riebeeck, they will never leave their white legacy and their white culture. But they fool the other people. They fool them so that these people don't even know if they have a culture or what is their culture. So that is what politics do. That is the situation. That is apartheid. That is what apartheid have done. Apartheid, you see, is when, I'm going to make you an example. You knowingly put jam right here. You put it right there. And you know exactly what is going to happen now. They're going to come flies and ants and whatsoever is going to come there. You know that. You know that even in your car, your vehicle, you can put there crumbs of bread, there, bread crumbles and things in there. You will see cockroach. You will be there. You will find him in your car. I don't know you. How? Just show you there's a God, but he's in your car. The cockroach, the one that run in your house. He's there in your car. When you come there in your car and there's bread crumble there, you see, yes, cockroach is here. These people, they don't even have nostrils. These ants and these things have no nostrils. They have nostrils, but it's so small that I can say they have nobody have. And yet these people, these things can do what they do. So the white man, you see, when you put people in poverty, and you make laws like they cannot become teachers and lawyers and they cannot become nurses and all these laws that they was in the apartheid system, then what they do, they sit now around this poverty. This poverty is the honey. Now out of poverty come poor wine, house wine like your Hammer and your Bayer, all these cheap wines, and Tassel, all the cheap wines and your house wines. Now come the drugs. Nigerians make it more easy of the kitchen drugs and all these things that they bring in now. So all the combination of the drugs and the wines and the cheap wines and this cheap food and we don't work and all this combination make our people pum much. And that's why you see there's a lot of children among us and they criticize us, but they know the situation they put us is creating that. You can read this thing happen in the Bible. It happened in Exodus in the time of Moses. The more the people was oppressed and put into poverty, the more these people, the Israelis, they pum and they get more. And these people didn't understand at the beginning what is happening here, but they know they create this. And the more we pum and the more we have children, the more we suffer, and the children suffer, and the more we suffer, we found ourselves in having now, this one is a thief, that one must sell, this one must work for cheap labor, that one must hustle, that one must become a beggar. They know exactly what is coming out of that. And then we start stabbing each other when we are drunk, and we have this lust for the drugs and for all these things that we get addicted to, the Korean pass and all these Mars and pass. And then, whatsoever you do there now, you need now the lawyer, you need the prosecutor, you need the doctor, everything you need is white. And when they send in the ambulance, when you go to the doctor, when you go to the lawyer, wherever you go to white people. And they benefit of all the stabbing. They benefit of all the fighting. They benefit all the children that we are making. They benefit of everything that is wrong in our society. They benefit when we take each other to the court. They benefit when we make cases to each other. It's only the lawyer. It is only the prosecutor. It is only the court. It is only the welfare people. It is the nurses. All these people with the titles, which is not available to non-white people. And so they enrich themselves. They have big houses, they have smart houses, and then they tell us, you stink, you are poor, you are ungodly, you are not educated, and then they give us all these untruth reason why we are in this situation. Instead of helping us, they criticize us. Your own brother that grow up in a shanty house that become a big person now, or a teacher or a lawyer. Your own sister that grow up in the shanty house that become a teacher or a nurse that go now stay in town. They all change against you. They all criticize you, just like the previous people who was criticizing all of them, including them. They also now criticize. They do exactly the same thing, and that is how the system is putting us all in this situation. That's why you don't see a white ghetto. You don't see people gambling in the street and running around with cheap wine there in the white or in the town areas. You don't see people standing there in the shops, in the front of shops, and in the front of the power stations and all these things. You don't see these things. You don't see poor children running around in the street there. You don't see chores in that areas there. Because these people, you see, they are what we call the highty and the tighty, and they think they are the mighty. It's them that, and how they treat us differently, whether you are the own mother or the own brother. That is all apartheid. So don't come tell me about I don't love white people and I'm racist. Don't come tell me about things and things. Let these people come back to us and come apologize, and let these people take all this richness and all these wisdoms and all this whiteness and all this brightness and come share it with us physically, and let the preaching stop just preaching in the ghetto and preaching in the ghetto. Let them make boxes full of bread and boxes full of clothes and boxes full of money and bring it together, because preaching is nothing without the deeds today, man. The word is nothing without the action. Action is louder than words. I salute you all.